It's the lighting's all good. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, that was it.
Yo, people, what's happening? Welcome to Saeed TV on a Wednesday night, 9 p.m. UK time. I'm with the brother Neji in the building. Neji, what are you telling me, bro? You're on mute. 1 second.
No.
Yeah, there you are. You're good. Good to go.
How's the host gonna mute me as I'm about to drop some bars to say?
Yeah, I don't know how. My apologies.
Nah, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
Big up, man. Big up to everybody who's in the chat. Musa will be joining us shortly. You know, he's always late, you know what I mean? Dom couldn't make it. He's not feeling well, so Dom isn't here available in the show. But Musa should
Dom. Rest up well, bro. Rest up well.
Yeah, big up to Dom in the building. Not feeling too well. But big up to everybody who's tuning in right now. United, as much as we've done well on the field, off the field, it's not going great. United spent 1 billion, over 1 billion. The recruitment system is a joke for me. Players leaving after it should have been their prime years at Old Trafford. It should have been, you know, we should have been developing players at this football club where every single time we know that these players improve. You know, over the Fergie years, we had Rafael and Fabio playing in midfield and beating Arsenal the FA Cup 2-0, convincing. You know, so where do you think it's gone wrong for Man United? Why is Martial leaving? Why is Donny leaving after 2 years? Why are these guys just not making it at United, Neji? What is going on?
Oh, mate, it's that same old sad story, man. Just to structure the whole thing, man. Like, bro, like when I always talk about the structure of this club, yeah, and I always say every top team that you know about, football fans, let's be honest, majority of football fans, and I think I'm kindly speaking for a lot of fans, they only really kind of they only favour the surface of football chats. So their conversations go up to the players, up to the manager, then maybe to the coaching staff, but they don't realise a lot of the sugar that's going on behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the issue for me, because when we start talking about the board and the structure, you can start to see why a lot of the issues are happening at United. And you know, to answer your question, sorry, more directly, I put it straight down to the lack of structure from the board. We're buying players, one for commercial value, i.e. Ronaldo's and Pogba, and then you're also spending on money that clearly either doesn't fit what the manager wants, but you're making an effort to kind of show face to say, well, I've got you players, or it's a case of that because you're actually no, not all. It's going to be an and the fact that you're getting rid of managers with different styles and philosophies, and then you're leaving the next manager with players from three different managers who all play completely different styles. So we've got great talent, but that talent isn't really cohesive as a group. And it's for reasons why we see Donny out of the team and everything else, because there's nothing to do with his ability. Does he just suit the style of the play? And it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
You know, again, you make a good point there, but I think as well, it's the fact that the club doesn't have an ethos anymore. The club doesn't have a kind of a hierarchy.
Identity, innit?
Identity, that's a key word. So what you have now is a mismatch of all points, of all kind of, eras. Van Gaal, David Moyes, you have Mourinho. You have a mismatch of players, and the club want to make it right. So they give them time, when in reality, Paul Pogba should have probably left after Mourinho because it never worked.
Yeah,
in reality.
100%.
But because we think that Paul Pogba is a good player, and we know he's a good player, we want it to work. But United never ever say it and pull the plug in and be like, you know what, certain player like him, yeah, it didn't work out. We have to move on. But
yeah,
I think
right,
we've got to the point now where, why hasn't it worked out? Why haven't we unlocked Paul Pogba and found his best position, his best attributes, and found him, some sort of consistency? Why have we bought players and they want to leave? Andy Herrera, he said that he wanted to be paid more, but he was a good servant. But then you pay Mata, who's on a small, who's not playing, and then you give his wages just because he's a good guy. I don't understand this football club.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, this is the issue, I think, overall, man. It doesn't matter. People get to realize, and the fan base get to realize that no matter what manager comes in, what players you buy, until that structure is sorted, you're not going to sort out most of the major issues that needs to happen. We've got players like you mentioned, come and gone and still present, that are on stupid wages, but we couldn't retain our other players, and we couldn't retain them because we couldn't facilitate their needs. Which, although we all know football players get played too much, but in the spirit of the game and how it is at the moment, certain players who do ask for certain wages, you're not going to turn your nose up at. You look at Herrera's situation, as you mentioned. Herrera, of all players that we've ever had in the past couple of years, deserves to at least say, you know what, with chess, I feel like I deserve this level of wage. And not only that, but to be guaranteed that the club is going to be moving in the right direction in the way it should be. And, there's some players that, I'd look at Matic and I look at Phil Jones, with respect to them both. They shouldn't have been offered a new contract in the first place. They should have had their farewell. Thank you very much. Off you go to Everton or wherever, with respect to Everton again. But this is the issue. It comes down to, a lot comes down to favoritism. A lot comes down to branding. And it seems to be that you look at Paul Pogba's situation. We've been holding him to ransom. He wanted to go a long time ago based on the ambition of the club. He was sold a dream in terms of, we'll build the squad around you. That hasn't come through. That hasn't happened. And with respect to him, he could have gone to Madrid for a lot more money. He's come back to United, been told about everything. And you only have to look at Ibrahimovic's comments about Manchester United of recently. He says everyone on the outside thinks it's this big club and everything else. When he got there, we're moving the complete opposite way when he got there. And it was a shock. So these players are being set up to fail, in my opinion. Yes, does that equate to the players' performances? If you do psychology, some of it will do, because of how you feel will then come out on the pitch and express yourself. But I don't think that's the be all and end all. I don't think it's the only factor. These players, yes, they need to improve, but if you're going to be set up to fail, why are you not going to give 100? 90% still isn't good enough, and some of these players only give 90%.
Absolutely. I want to read a few comments here. Steve H says, we have tried all different avenues with managers with no real plan. We are all left with bloated squads full of individuals. Big overhaul required. Been hiring managers, bridesmaids, washed up players past the shell life. Look at Conte with Spurs. Spurs was bottom at distance covered with game. Now they are at the top. Manager determined how a team reacts. And for me, especially this comment here as well, with Steven says, we've tried different managers, different plans, tried to work out players, didn't work out. But the ultimate problem is, and this football club has never identified, is a director of football. John Murtough isn't that. Darren Fletcher isn't that. That we have to pray that Ralph Rangnick is allowed control over this football club to say, like, did you see his interview? Someone outside Old Trafford said about Lingard, and he said, will he be leaving in the summer?
Yeah, man, saw that. Yeah, he just said, yeah, he's gone in summer, man. Like, he'll be leaving in summer. Like, woof. Let him know.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Let him know. You can't be having this player power anymore. And like, we need. I'll be honest, we do need that ruthlessness. So a lot of the fans were saying, "Oh, we want Conte in for the ruthlessness," but I think Conte's style of ruthlessness wouldn't really appease the board as such because he'll be put his ruthlessness and aggression and approach, shall we say, is aggressive nature and approach. Although it would be on the pitch, he'd be doing that with the board as well, and it just backfire. Whereas Ragnick's smart. He knows he's been given a contract. We turned him down the first time. We've come back for him again. We've obviously agreed to his terms because the first time we approached him, he wanted director of football position. They turned it down. Obviously, they've rethought their strategy. They've done their homework, and he's accepted. So I'm not surprised that Ragnick's moving the way he's moving with confidence and with that slight bit of arrogance. Like, no, I'm sorting this out. I'm gonna have to deal with all of these things. I can take it on the chest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be upfront, and we'll keep it real that way. And I think you only have to look at Martial's performance as one good example that normally under them circumstances, if a player like that is coming on, who's been treated as lazy, who's been told that he's not good enough, he came on for 10 minutes, but he put a mad shift in, and he played his heart out. And for me, that has to have brought some level of respect for the manager, where the players are genuinely seem like, right, this guy's not messing around, but look at how he's treating these man. And now it's slowly starting to filter in, man. So I think Ralph's a great appointment. Don't want him as manager, but I can't wait till he goes upstairs, man.
And that's the reality, though. United will look at his maybe run and be like, yeah, he's doing well. He's getting a bit of stability. You know what I mean? But that's where it stops. What do you make of this one here? Man United, big up to Killis, by the way. Man United value Jesse Lingard at 50 million, therefore believe the 12 million bonus that Newcastle would have to pay if avoid relegation is good value. Well, how about you find out what good value means to Man United? How about you think about How about you think about the fact that we could offload this guy and buy a midfielder in this window? How about that, eh? Like thinking about what you need to do. But that's what I mean, though, isn't it? It's about them all the time. Penny pinching, what they are doing.
Every time. We should have got rid of this player a long time ago, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, West Ham was the perfect opportunity. 25 mil, take him, bang, latest. Money bank, money stored. We don't move like that anymore, man. We don't move like that. I remember, January signings, bro, and summer signings. They were done within the first week because we've been working on them prior. They were done first week. They're already like midway through January transfer window. You're then set up to go and play again, like with your new players and embed them into the team. I'll be honest, like Lingard again, 20 million. I mean, his value is going to decrease because of his contract ending and expiring. So where this 50 million price that comes from makes no sense, and that just shows you the people that are above, if those figures are to be correct. Big up Cliss, by the way. I know he's a real one, but if those figures are to be correct, listen. There's no way that they're serious with that evaluation. They clearly have no idea. There's no way he's getting 50 million or anywhere near close to that for a Lingard player.
Absolutely, no big up to everybody. Yeah, exactly. Ibrahim Mas, do you think Pochettino will be the manager for Man United, or would it be Conte if he got sacked by Tottenham? What do you think? I think right now we have to understand where we're going. Big up Moses in the building.
What's going on?
Big up, man. Big up, bro. Having internet problems and that. It's mad in the dunya.
It's mad. That's good.
Yeah, man. Big up to Musa for coming on the channel today. We're just talking about the mess at Man United. Man United spent 1 billion. And the question before I ask you, Leji, I'm going to ask you, Musa, first. Why has nobody fulfilled their potential at Man United? You know, I'm going to list the names of how many signings we've had since Alex Ferguson, and I'm going to present it to everybody. But why have they not fulfilled the potential? What is it at Man United? Is it a disease or something at United?
Bro, man, I think we spoke about it a lot, especially, and Noradin's always touched on the board, touched on, the issues that we have, within the structure of the club. And I feel like as a fan base, we've seen other clubs who have poor structure and still turn up, or maybe they've had, a manager who hasn't been supported, highly with, like example, if you look at Poch when he was at Tottenham, I swear he went like 80 months without making a signing. You know what I'm saying? But he was getting what he got out of the players. So it's always made us think to ourselves, you know what? But the managers should still be doing better with the support that they have had. But I feel like with a club like Man United, the pressure is different, man. The pressure is just madness. I feel like anyone who's ever been in a high pressure situation, and I only can say it to someone who's been on live TV, when they say to you and they put the thing in your ear and they're like, you're going to be live on air in 5 seconds, 5, 4, and you're going broadcasted across the nation. That when I went on ITV, the pressure is on.
Yeah.
So imagine walking out at Old Trafford, they like week in, week out, or as a manager, as a player, whatever, and not being like backed in every way possible for you to succeed. Whether that's your coaching, your training, your healthcare, whatever it might be, clubs at that size need to have the best of everything.
Absolutely.
And since Alex Ferguson left, we've just been run like a pub team, bruv. If you look at what's really going on behind the scenes and you look at the club, to the stadium, whenever I visit the stadium, I look at it and I think, I go to smaller stadiums that obviously ain't got the same capacity, but they look fresh, bruv. They're cleaner, they're better. Like you go down to Brentford, bruv. You're sitting there and you think like, Old Trafford just feels like it just needs sorting out, bruv. What's going? It's like there's so many things wrong with us as a football club right now. I just feel like ultimately it's going to show on the pitch and it's going to show on the players. And now it's deeper than the managers. It's deeper than all of that. I think what Ranieri's doing now and this clear out we're having, we need this clear out. We need to go back to, if we need to go back and start moving like an Ajax or moving like a Dortmund, playing youngsters, some of the best youngsters around the world.
A lot of people laughed at me when I said, you know what I mean, the Dortmund model of playing the youngsters and then just almost like getting, from square one, really.
If we would have done the Ajax model or the Dortmund model, and for the last 8 years, what would we have lost? What would we have lost? We would have had... Go on.
The issue, sorry, but I was just about to say, big up yourself as well, man. Don't think we've ever met, man. So love, man. You know what it is, like, I look at Fergie, and I feel like for all the greatness that we had with him, we also, like, when he went, the structure was gone as well. And I genuinely feel like, although he passed over a winning team, he didn't pass over a winning structure. And this one thing I've had to deep, because as I've learned about what Fergie did more so behind the scenes as opposed to on the scenes, because again, remember I said at the start of the show, Said, like most football fans touch on the surface. When you think of Fergie, they think trophies, winning, but they don't really understand how he managed to build the foundation in order to go and do that over the years. And I've always tried to look between the lines. I know Fergie came out and was saying, his partner, his wife, wasn't very well, and he had to cut there that show. He had to end it there, and he wasn't expecting it ultimately. But I think that was a cover up, bro, because as soon as the Glazers taken over, right? Bear in mind, we were chanting Glazers out even when they took over, and Fergie was still winning trophies. People don't really remember that, Of course. But I genuinely think the structure that he had when they brought their businessmen and their bankers in, and they were saying, right, we're taking over this, and then that structure that Fergie normally runs has been taken away from him. He's no longer got control over that. And then you look at his signings when he goes and gets Gabriel Obertan, Michael Owen, Antonio Valencia, right? Them 3 signings does not scream Sir Alex Ferguson signings, in my opinion. So I know 100% he had a hand tied behind his back, and I knew deep down 100% from that year that Fergie knew that what he's built was about to start crashing, and he's gone and left on a high, and I think that was his exit door right there. And I think, again, David Moyes didn't inherit the structure that was there. It was inheriting a new structural Manchester United with a Man United winning team, and that's where I think the biggest issue is, and that's the topic that's not been spoken about.
Absolutely. I know you were joking there, Samson, but my point is we've had big boy signings at this football club, and where have they gone? I'm going to name the names, but do Man United even think of buying another big boy move? Sancho, we've ruined him. Already he's looking like, how does he fit into the team now? And this is a problem at United. We have a profile of a player, and we think for 2 years we've been chasing Sancho, and in them 2 years, guys, we didn't even think of building a team for Sancho to come in and play in. We just thought, he'll fit into what we're doing, and to the best, Musa, Sancho, 2 years we're chasing him, and I'm telling you now, I don't think he'll be starting for United this season. I think it will be Ilanga, and Greenwood, and then Ronaldo up top. I think he'll be that guy that comes on from the bench and comes in here and there. I know it's an adaptation process, but I just feel like we're buying players, but we're not doing. We don't know what we're doing with them. You know,
We do all the time, man. Sancho, Lukaku, Sanchez. Oh man, we chase them as if they're one. Like Sanchez was meant to be the next.
he was in his peak.
RVP. He was in his peak, tearing it up. He was meant to be the next RVP. He came. You see what we took it? We took him for a joke. Sanchez came. He said the first day at training, he knew it was a wrap.
Wow.
He said the first day at training, he knew he should have left. He said, I knew that I made the biggest mistake. Just the first day in, he realized this is nuts. And that's what's going on at Old Trafford. That's what's really happening at the club. So for me right now, I just feel like there's a couple things that I'm seeing. The fact that they want Donny to come back after this little loan spell if he gets it, shows that I think there's going to be a new manager in the summer. And they want this new manager to have the options of Donny, the options of Martial. They want him to have these options to be able to look at these players themselves. So it looks like it's not going to be.
Yeah, but that's option. It's like it's like you showing options of like a Lamborghini and a Ferrari outside, but you ain't gonna be able to use them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they want to leave. They want to get out.
No, the only one that I rate is Martial. Martial's been adamant that he wants out, and Martial's thinking, "Listen, if I play my cards right, I could be picking up a La Liga medal." Yeah, while everyone's at Old Trafford in a madness.
Lukaku did it. Lukaku did it.
Yeah.
You know what? Flipping Ashley Young. Ashley Young went and done his thing, bro.
You know what? I'm gonna pull it up here, people. Yeah, every signing since. So we bought in Marouane Fellaini. We bought in Marouane Fellaini for 27.5 million.
We blamed him as well, and Fellaini used to turn up.
Fellaini turned up. That's why, for me, I think he turned up for me.
He used to turn up, and the fan base blamed him as well. You know what it is? This club has done a lot, and I just feel like we need to get the Glaziers out, man. We got no other option. These guys got to go, bro.
Yeah,
they're the biggest problem at Man United because within the next 5 years, I don't want to hear about what we used to do, what we was on, blah, blah, blah. You see these Saudi Arabians here, they're on the same thing as the Emiratis are at Man City.
Yeah.
They're going to build, and you've seen the Newcastle ground. It's right bang in the city centre. Yeah. It's in the heart of it. These lot are going to invest into Newcastle. They've looked at the whole city and said, we can invest into this city. They're going to invest into Newcastle. They're going to build all around that city and give those people what they deserve. And in the next 5 years, structurally, they're going to be on some. They're trying to buy my man in midfield from Porto in the January transfer window.
I know. Well, we should be going for him. Oh,
yeah, and they're in the bottom fighting for their lives in the Prem.
Yeah. I want to list through the players. Juan Mata, 37.1 million. Have you seen the best of Juan Mata for that price tag, guys?
No way.
Neji, have you seen the best out of him for 37.1 million?
I can't base it based on price. Here's my issue. With prices. I feel like prices showcase other people's opinions of the player. For example, I know Maguire costs 80 million, but if Maguire came to me and said, "Yo, listen, people, my name is Maguire and I am worth 80 million," then fair enough, I can slew the man. So you're telling me you're worth 80 million, but these bankers have no idea, so they're splashing 80 million on a 40 million man. So again, I mean, I look at Juan Mata's career and go, I don't really think I've seen the most of his career. But again, under I think it was under Van Gaal, was it? I feel like he was showing potential of he could be utilized well. I don't think we've got the full Juan Mata that we knew at Chelsea, 100%.
Yeah, and the Herrera, who we should have probably not let go of.
No way.
Luke Shaw, 31 million, 8 seasons. We're looking for that one season for him to do well. Still at this football club. Luke Shaw versus Tellez. Luke Shaw, I'm better. I can prove my worth. Jose Mourinho. When is it going to end? You know what I mean?
Luke Shaw's been here as long as Juan Mata.
Yeah, same. They came the same time.
And Juan Mata to me is at a better period here than Luke Shaw. Then.
Well,
yeah, 100.
uncomfortable
And one
conversation.
that has not had the best himself. So what does that
Yep.
say? Flipping that, bro.
Marcus Rojo, 16 million. Just basically a kind of a hit and hope signing. Angel Di Maria, 59 million. We ended up selling him for about 45 million. Lost money. That was a big blow as well. You know, Angel Di Maria
100.
should have been an absolute ball at United. You know,
I think the
Yeah.
fans want him a bit too quick. You know, he was the second highest assist behind Özil when he was on form them times. Özil as well.
yeah, of
And
course.
people were still saying that he weren't doing enough. And I was thinking, but he's an assist machine.
Of course.
Maria.
He could have still been playing right now, but again, this football club, they decided elsewhere. Daley Blind, what a player he was. But again,
He was good for us, man.
Mourinho decided to kind of, you know, sell him. He was not a Mourinho type player, says here. He was not a Mourinho type defender, and Blind perhaps being paid, being only criticised a matter of Van Gaal sacking. Yeah, got forced out of the football
Saeed,
club.
yeah. This the thing that's funny, because we'll go back to, you bring in certain managers that would like a certain player profile. They bring that player profile in, get sacked. Next manager comes in, doesn't fit the player
But we don't have a
profile.
director of football who then has to be that person that says, no, I'm that person that decides who leaves and goes. And I hope Ragnick is that person. But again, I don't know if he'll have full control, because Darren Fletcher and John Myrtle, Mr. Nobodies, are still there. You know, big up to everybody watching, by the way. Please smash a like on the video if you are watching right now. Radamel Falcao.
Oh,
you know,
God, that one dodgy goal against Everton, everyone's like, yeah, he's back.
I forgot all about man like Falcao. We really bought in the goal machine and he didn't do nothing.
Goal machine.
About El Tiger, man. El Pussycat, man.
Yeah.
Dead.
Falcao.
Exactly. Memphis Depay. This is why I said to people about Sancho. He came in with the hype. You know, someone McCarthy here with the super chat says we emptied the 2013 team, no leaders.
No,
no
I told
winners.
people. Sancho will become an Aaron Lennon or Jermaine Pennant. You have to take your time. It will become
There should be a club philosophy, not manager by manager. Absolutely, there should be a philosophy. But again, the club are still in the ways of Alex Ferguson. Says the DNA, United DNA. You know, robust. You got to be. You know, you have to have that spirit within you, and that's the problem. You know, Victor Valdez. You know, Damian. I thought was a good player.
Oh, Valdez, what even happened to him? Like, what did he get sold on? Where did he go back to? Like,
he went to Middlesbrough, didn't he? Remember? And then after that,
did he go Middlesbrough?
He went Middlesbrough for a little bit.
Wait,
and then
he went Barca, United, Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Bournemouth. Oh, boy.
Yeah. What about Morgan Schneider, man? He was a very good player at Southampton.
He was
prospect.
Started all right in the Van Gaal system, and then just never convinced.
Ended up at Everton, and I don't know. Then he got sold again.
He got sold to Nice, I think it was. People. Another person could have been all right. I think for me, this the one that hurt me the most. Bastian Schweinsteiger. We got him at 29, and I thought for me it was a quality signing.
Of course.
And I don't know. He just didn't.
Bastian Schweinsteiger would have been the player that you buy in when your team's still got the structure and organization, and he's there to offer a little bit more. Remember when we brought like Henrik Larsson in as a striker under Fergie?
Yeah.
07, 08 days, just before, or 05 even. No, it was 06, 07, sorry. Like, the team was already popping then, so adding him to it was just having that extra little bit of quality for a couple of games. You know what I mean? That's what Schweinsteiger should have been for us, man. But he just,
yeah, of course.
Who brought Schweinsteiger in? Van Gaal.
Van Gaal, Mourinho had that big bus stop because he went to he went to see his wife play tennis. Remember, was it Ivanovic? I think her name was, and he didn't like it for some reason. For some reason, Mourinho didn't like it, and then he left. So yeah, that was the one here. Sergio Romero, I thought he was a very, very good keeper. He got treated badly. Another player that got treated badly, people. Yeah, Steve, we're depressed FC. I know, man. We're looking back at silence, Steve. You know what I mean? That's how we are, man. That's another player, by the way, Alvarez, who's gone to City that should have been at United. They took him.
Yeah, we flopped on that young buck. But where do you want? It would have just been a graveyard for him. Palestri was like Alvarez.
Yeah.
Where's Palestri? I saw Palestri in pre-season
Doing
moving
bits.
mad, doing bits.
Good on the ball, technical. I thought he was technical.
Like
Technical on the ball.
low center
How
to
can you have a
gravity.
player like that, bro? How can you play like that, yeah? When you need a right winger, Greenwood isn't a natural right winger with respect to him, so we shouldn't play him as a striker, in my opinion, and learn his trade there. When you need one, yeah, you don't get Sancho, and you spend money on Ahmad, and you spend money on Palestri. Ahmad shows a bit of something that he can go there and do some bits, thinking, yeah, you know, we could do with that.
Yeah.
And then you don't play the brother, and then you let my man, bloody Palestri, just go on a 2-year spree like he's never played for United in his life. Like, where's he on loan? Didn't he go on loan to some Spanish team or something?
That's why, like, for me, I think the next process for us is Ten Hag, because I don't see him letting them type of young players go.
Coming, you know. I don't see Ben Teller coming.
I see him coming, you know. Do you know why I see him coming again?
I don't.
Because Man United like managers who haven't been to the big time yet, who they can still scare you with this club. Listen, as much as I rate Ten Hag here, walking through them doors at Old Trafford is still pressure for a man like that.
I know.
It's
when he
still
wanted his
pressure.
legacy at United, knowing that he's had so many failed players.
It's still pressure for a man like that. Because I tell you for free, Chelsea, they will sack you like it's not. Listen, you see their manager now, mate. I dare him lose the next 2 games if he's bad.
Yeah,
that too, if he's bad. They don't play games over there, and managers know that Man United is the only club you can go. Really, that's a massive club. They'll give you a 2-year. They'll give you at least a 2-year there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what it is?
Go on.
Like some of these. No, sorry, Saeed, man. Remember, run your thing.
Now go for it.
Oh, no worries. That to me too, that Chuckle Brother thing. Big up them, man. Yeah, listen, I look at the players now that are in this globally that are even like they're pretty much our age now, like 27, 28, 29, 30s. They still have an understanding of Manchester United. So they'll understand the weight and the ferocity of the club. But I think if this isn't sorted out in the next couple of 5 years' time, these 16, 17, 18-year-olds, maybe younger, who are coming through, they just remember us as a has-been club. And then they'll be like, there's no real attachment to go to United. And that's the same with managers as well, man. Like, we really got to act now, man, if you think about it. So people, like, we know our club's massive, but we ain't got that. We haven't got we won't have the resources to maintain that powerful image in the younger footballers' minds, man, and the managers, because they won't know who we were. It's mad.
Absolutely. Big up to everybody watching. Please smash a like on the video if you're watching right now. Anthony Martial. I want to discuss this player for a little bit. I want to bring you some a video of his career. Not a video, but just like a timeline of his career at United. Big up to United Arena for putting this on. Anthony Martial. By the way, I want to ask you a quick question before I ask you. How do you sum up his career? I'm going to start with you, Musa. Anthony Martial. Could he have been a star at United? And I want the chat to get involved as well. What has gone wrong? And we talk about here, 15-16 season, Martial 17 goals and 7 assists in 46. We signed Zlatan, Martial is demoted. I think he plays on the left and he takes the number 9. 17-18, we signed Lukaku, Martial is demoted. 17-18, Martial 11 goals and 8 assists in just 19. I would say that's a very, very, very good return in that. 17-18, Martial, Sanchez, Martial demoted further. Martial, he just didn't matter. Do you sum up that? Do you feel any sympathy for Martial? Should he have done better himself? How do you sum it up, Musa? Martial.
Now, for me, Martial is what Man United has been, and since he's come here, and that's someone so talented, who's been able to show you that talent in bursts at United, being failed by the coaching staff and by the environment around him. And then it's left to us as a fan base to be like, oh, they should be doing better. They should be. No, they shouldn't. This is why some of the players, who have never been coached by the best coaches, or they haven't gone up to that level. That's why, Jose was getting rid of like Mo Salah at Chelsea, because he wasn't prepared to coach these men. Jose's always wanted the finished article, and he just comes, tells you what to do, steamrolls the league, and wins it. That's why he was getting rid of these young players, and people will be like, "Yeah, he's no good." They said about De Bruyne, about Mo Salah when Jose was getting rid of these players. It's because he wasn't prepared to give them the time they needed to develop and to go on to be the players that they are today. Martial has come in at a prime age, very sought after throughout Europe. He's came in his first season and he's done bits, 17 goals, seven assists. You know what I'm trying to say? He's turned up first season to tell you guys, this is what I'm about. So where's the development? And he's not the only player that hasn't developed. But to me, this is just someone who sadly has been failed by the downfall of Man United in his period of time. Because see, Martial, if he comes in to Man United in Sir Alex's last 2-3 years, he has a whole different career. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or if he comes into a team that Alex was building and they were winning stuff, it's a whole different journey for him. But he's coming to a club who is failing dramatically. And it's like, for me, Martial is prime reason, or for me to be able to look back and see like, okay, Man United, this is why we're failing. Because people will mention Rashford. For me, their ceilings are two different level ceilings, bro. When I see these man ball, Martial's ceiling is much higher than Rashford's. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But again, Martial being French, not being someone who's come through the academy or whatever, he's never been given the same type of leeway. But him and Rashford came through the scene same season. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So if you look at their goals as well, and if you look at the amount of times Rashford's actually played and the amount of times Martial's played, and you look and you compare their goals, they're thereabouts. But you wouldn't have the same type of press, especially from the English press towards Rashford, that you thought Martial's had. Like the way they deal with him and go like he hasn't done nothing. But when you look at their goals and their assists, they're very the same. They're very similar. There's not much in it. There's about 4 or 5 goals in it. But one's been, the shining light of British football coming up doing all blah, and then the other one's been a waste of money. So it is what it is. You take how you want.
There you go, people. There you go. Neji, how would you sum up Martial's career? Has he fulfilled his potential? And if not, why has he not fulfilled his potential?
I don't think he's fulfilled his potential. I don't think it's fair to say he's done that. I've always had the same argument for Martial. And yes, it may sound like a defender man, but you got to understand the areas that I am defending. What I won't defend is his lack of consistency in terms of his game. However, I can also have the same argument for 99% of the squad in terms of their consistency, in terms of them playing the game and how they play it. I think only De Gea has been the most consistent. However, where I support the man, and I heavily support the man, are around a couple of things. The factors of him not getting GA, right? So let's be honest. One of the things that, people who don't really rate Martial, and that's fine, I'm not saying you have to rate him, but I'm just considering these factors. One of the things that was against him was that his goal and assists weren't great, right? If you only measure a footballer by goals and assists and don't really look at the productivity of the player and how that player plays, then my friend, your ball knowledge is very limited, with the greatest of respect. And I would encourage you to understand the type of player that he is. The same way when people talk about goals and assists for Pogba, and I don't understand that, because you're not understanding what type of player he is. For me, Anthony Martial, when he was getting slewed, and I mean slewed, and that includes racial abuse. I don't use that word loosely. He's genuinely getting slewed because he's not getting GA, right? To me, that is the first problem. You have a person that isn't so much the most how can I put it, confident player. He thrives off confidence. When he's in mad confidence, he's on it. So if you aren't being that if you're not in a confident spell, you need support, not racism and hatred. Yeah, and that came from the media, our own fans, unfortunately, as we have to say it, and many other sources. So I look at that and go, well, just because he's not getting GA, look at how effective he is on the actual pitch. So, for example, we can look at what he did against Manchester City. Not one bit of GA visible, not one bit. yeah, but the impact he had on the pitch was phenomenal, right? So I look at him and go, I genuinely think people have got false expectations of Martial. Now, there was a season, I can't recall the dates. I believe Aguero or Kane finished top goal scorer, right? And Martial was actually the most clinical finisher that season.
Yeah.
By that I mean his conversion rate. So that means he was converting. His conversion was so high that he was converting more goals on less chances, right? And that was him playing as a striker, I believe. May have been under Oli or it may have been under Van Gaal. You have to correct me with my stats. But I look at this and think, well, is the system built for him? No. Has he been played as a striker? I don't believe personally, and this is preference, I don't believe he's a natural striker in the way you want. If you're going to be a striker, you need to play him as a false nine, same way you play Firmino at Liverpool. If not, you play him as a left forward. You have to play him as a left forward. He looks more comfortable on the left, dribbling in and linking up play with the striker and doing 1-2s. You've seen it many times with Paul Pogba on that side. So, one, I think he's been played out of position. Two, I don't think he's been given a run of games as he has in comparison to Rashford, even when Rashford's been underperforming. And in my opinion, I look at the flip side of the example and say, well, Rashford was getting mad GA, right, for a couple of seasons, but his performance on the pitch just weren't great. So he would have one moment or two moments in 85 minutes, whereas Martial would provide more opportunities for other players to score or himself. He just wasn't finishing his dinner. When have we ever relied on one player to finish his dinner 24/7 at United? Everyone should be doing their job. So I'm just cancelling out certain factors right now. I'm looking at it and going, I think he's been overly disrespected for something that is so simple, a simple solution of just support the brother, he will get there. But look at all the other factors to his game. And the last thing I'll finish on, bro, is as I said, people spoke about his GA, fine, we've had that conversation. GA is not all important in his game. But the idea that he was lazy. Some of you will remember we had also a player called Dimitar Berbatov. He was dubbed lazy just the same. So if you're saying he's lazy, and bear in mind we saw his pressing stats, so the Martial's pressing stats over his career is actually one of our hardest workers. But if you look at the Berbatov situation, he's lazy, he does this, he does that. No, he's smart. He works smart. He doesn't bust the gut. Rashford, you'll see Rashford, and this is not slandering him, it's just the way he presses, right? Rashford's not an intelligent presser, but he has the attributes to press quick. So when you see him running a straight line really fast, you think, oh my God, he's pressing. Not realizing that there's certain trigger points of when you actually need to start pressing, when to go, when not to. Martial will corner off quite a few spaces before making the attempt to go forward. And people call that lazy, right? Again, Berbatov, no difference. He's a smart, intelligent player. He made up for it with everything else because he arrived at the right time every single time. So I don't understand the narrative when we can slew Martial, but then Berbatov, who's called lazy, was still being able to come through. I just think there is a level of underappreciation for Martial, and I think people have misunderstood the type of player he is and what he actually brings to the team beyond goals and assists.
Absolutely. I'm gonna pull up the rest of the squad here. Eric Bailly, always injured, never hardly plays. Musa, another player, you know what I mean? Could we, we got the best out of him. Should we have sold him early? We made him sign a contract. Zlatan was probably the most successful one, if I'm being really honest with you. His first season was brilliant. 2 trophies, very, very influential in them 2 trophies, especially in the Carabao Cup. Again, that's another player, maybe got a bit too late in his career. Henrik Mkhitaryan, an interesting player who, for me, I liked him, was influential in that Europa League run that got us to win the Europa League, and then after that just fell apart really.
Yeah, top assists in Europe, more than Messi when we bought him. Everything, doing his bit at Dortmund, no system at Old Trafford.
Paul Pogba, Musa, he's about to leave. At 29, he will leave when he's 29. Still got a few more years, probably in his peak of his powers. Another one, man, that's going to go away from us. Underachieved at United. Only a couple of trophies, Carabao Cup and the Europa League, man. And
we just respond to a brother's comment. It's a great point. I'd love to put a bit of context to, man. Big up yourself, bro. He says I think it's Romario Lawrence. He says when playing on the left, you got to run in behind. McDartin runs between right back and centre back. Marshall
Yeah.
always wants the ball to feet. That's easy to play against. And
Yeah.
with context, I think you look at the teams that we struggled against. It's the ones with the low block. Rashford's best games is when we play on the counter attack. There's space to run in behind. But not every game you play, right? We can do that. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer set us up to be played against in a certain way where people just sit back because we knew we couldn't break them down. That's when you need your intelligence. And Martial does actually make quite a lot of runs in behind. He's just never found. And you can see it in most of his game.
Absolutely.
Never found. He's not the player that you need. Yeah, he is. He's not the player that will always be the last man behind the line, but he'll make a bursting run to either split the DM position or the centre back. But he'll collect it in an area where he knows the stuff to make one more pass. He ain't got a shooting opportunity. So just for context, just for Mario Lawrence, man, it's a great point by the way, but I don't think context is needed.
Absolutely.
Martial came from the Monaco Academy with flipping Mbappe and the man there. These men were trained. These guys are intelligent footballers. They know when to make the runs. They know they know when they need the ball to feet or when to go behind. It's not Man United Academy. It's not the United Academy, mate. Trust me. Like, we brought in a serious young buck, and I just feel like he's very similar to Sancho as well. Like, I think, and that's why I kept on thinking, I don't know, man. I think as much as I love Ronaldo, I just feel like at his age and his career, you know, Ronaldo can only come to a team like United and really boss it up like that. I think anyone else would have made the right decision in when to play and when not to play him and would have.
Yeah, true. We're desperate though. We're desperate.
Yeah, we're desperate. Because for me, I start Sancho and Martial, man. Them man, they're on the wide. I start them as wide players. They're intelligent, but again, we don't have a system of play. But for me, I think Rangnick is tearing things down, man. He's exposing us, and I think he's doing it on purpose.
MWK360, big up to the super chat. He goes, same argument about smart pressing can be made for Ronaldo, but we keep regurgitating what the media say, keep calling the problem. For me, if I'm being honest with you, he isn't the problem, but I don't think it's a solution to our bigger problem at United in terms of, you know, a short-term option. You know, will it just bring us shirt sales? I think it will do. Will we win a trophy under Ronaldo? I don't think so. But again, that's more down to the football club. I'm never going to blame it on Ronaldo.
I can't think in the last 3 years, even when we've been under Oli, I can't think the last time I looked and said United's problem was the front three. Yeah. I just can't remember it.
Midfield. It's always been midfield.
Yeah, it's always been the midfield and the defense. Yeah. I can't remember like when we had Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford outscoring Liverpool's front three. Remember, that season, Martial had 22 goals, Rashford scored 22, Greenwood scored 16. Like, they were outscoring Liverpool's at three, but we were just crap in midfield again and leaking in goals in behind. Then we've gone and got Maguire. We've gone and done all of that stuff. But again, I've never in the last 2-3 seasons looked at us and thought, we got no firepower up front. It's never been that. It's always been they can't get the ball. They're not doing like Pogba needs help. Then when Pogba got help, Bruno was injured. Bruno was on his own. Bruno stepped up, but again, the midfielder has never had the support that he's needed. I'm hoping with Pogba coming back, it's the first time we're going to see these man players 2-8s forced to play with one of these dead players because we're not making those signings. But at least I'm hoping that we're going to see a bit more because everybody badmouth Pogba. But I told man already, but the same thing that happened to Pogba is going to happen to Bruno. He's going to have to come deeper because no one's finding him. And when he comes deeper, he's going to try the Hollywood balls because that's what they do. And then people are going to start cussing him, say he's giving the ball away. Bruno gives the ball away. Bruno gives the ball. Yeah, that's what you said about Pogba. What do you want man to do? You know what I'm saying? He has to come deep because no one else is finding him. Then man, like
Fred's in the last game, was the man.
Yeah.
In the last game, so I was just saying, just to echo your point, you saw him in the last game, and Bruno was like literally a part of the back three.
Yeah,
like picking up the ball and slapping. Oh, like he's that guy, man. He's that guy. We need him. I don't mind him being all over the picture if the structure is right because it allows him a free role to be able to do that because he will do that for you. But you have to have the right structure. You can't have him. I mean, we can't have him coming deep just because there are issues. We can have him coming deep because we can trust that the system's fine for him to do that.
Yeah,
it's a completely different thing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And just because they know no one can't find nobody. He's thinking, let me go and do it because he can't find him. That's why when Pogba's there, at least he knows there's another man who I can just look over and it's gone. He can find us. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's important.
Exactly.
It's important.
Victor Lindelof. I think for me, he started to show the signing we bought him from. But again, he could have easily been sold in the 3-4 years. There must
See
have been
me.
a time where everyone wanted to sell Lindelof.
Victor's always been better than Maguire for me. I don't
Yeah.
care. I've never bought the Maguire thing. Victor's always been, to me, from what I've seen, I just thought Victor Lindelof again was a victim of Man United's poor structure, poor run, poor footballing style, where he's like, Victor Lindelof has always been the man who needs the man. He's never been the man. So Victor Lindelof has always been the man who needs a Van Dijk, and you're going to see a good baller. He needs a Varane, and you're going to see a baller. So for me, if Maguire was this Varane, Van Dijk type of player, then Lindelof should have been fine. But then they brought in a player who's not the man, who then Maguire turns around and says, "No, I need the man. I need to have someone next to me who's certified."
It's true.
So we're thinking, how can the man need the man? You're 80 million. You are meant to be our Van Dijk. You're meant to be our Varane. If he was going to be our Lindelof, we wouldn't have bothered. That 80 million, bro, we could have went and got in a serious midfielder, bro.
Two a midfielder and a centre back in that money. It's crazy. It's crazy. Romelu Lukaku. We bought it for 75 rights to 90 million. We did get our money back, but
we got it back. But you see, Lukaku, I saw his stats for United the other day. He's 1 in 2. He scored
1 in 2. He dried up second season, though.
Overall, it's 1 in 2. He played something. He scored something like 40 something goals in 80 something games. It's 1 in 2, bro.
I think it was more the style of play, wasn't it, Deji? More style of play just never suited us. You know,
I mean, you got to look at it, man. The ball bounced off in 24/7, man. Like, he literally may as well just been the Michelin, man. I swear to God, like, he was struggling out here. Like, that guy, listen, I've always said to him, and this isn't for a debate, this is just my one opinion of many million Man United fans. So, the other 999,000, whatever, maybe disagree. But for me, I always said, as a United centre-back and as a United striker, you have to be competent in more than just one area. For me, I think Lukaku is a world-class goal scorer, but I don't think he's a world-class footballer because the other fundamental parts of his game just were not there. And when you're not scoring at United, what else are you bringing? You can go on the list of every top striker we've had, bro. You can go do it and go, when they didn't score, what else did they do?
It's like Cavani at the minute now.
Lukaku never had that for us, man. And that's why I never rated him.
Yeah. Nemanja Matic, have we got the best out of Nemanja Matic? And being honest,
he was done when we got him. He was done when we got him at Chelsea, bro.
Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame. Couple years earlier, I would have been like, yeah, he's boss. Nah.
Yeah, Nemanja Matic. He had that good period when we played 4-3-3 with Herrera, Matic, and Pogba. As soon as Oli got the job, but then Oli reverted back to 4-2-3-1. And then just never. Then he sold. Maybe when Herrera lost Matic, there was a good pairing, man. We got Fred in there, and he just never looked the same. People. But someone's asking okay, would the man rather still have Dan James and not get Ronaldo? I don't think that was our point, really. It's just about finding players and fitting to their style. Alexis Sanchez, the worst swap deal in history, probably.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, that's probably sums up United. If you want to transfer to sum up the last 10 years, it'll be Alexis Sanchez. Well, how much was it 500k for his wages or something like that?
Don't do it, man. 500k to Ross.
Yeah.
500k to Ross, boys.
Diego Dallo's a perfect example of trusting, because I wrote him off about a year and a half ago, but now he's first choice right back. He's doing bits. At a minute,
I've always liked Dalot. I think when we bought him, he was meant to be. Where did we get him from, Ben? Where did we get him from? Sporting. Porto. Yeah, he was meant to be someone who was up and coming, doing these bits there on the right. I think he never really ever got a chance. I've never liked how a lot of players at Man United have never had really a chance to
I know.
Kind of games, and they just been judged straight away to not be up for it. And I just feel like there's so many clubs where it's just different standards for them, man. They get opportunities and they get to play. Even like I was looking at Werner the other day. See that brother? He was doing bits in Germany. He's come to Chelsea, and he hasn't had the best of seasons. But we don't really hear too much. It's not that negative.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that negative. It's not because he's flopped. Like he's played and he just doesn't bang in. And he was a man that banged in. And we've heard all he's good off the ball, he runs this, but where was all that for Martial? Where's that for Sancho? I told you the pressure at Man United is different. We don't get the same leeway as certain other clubs. We just don't get it. So
yeah. Lazy Fred. Has he really justified the 52 million price tag for you?
Fred, you know.
Well, if you know about the story about Fred, and about Shakhtar Donetsk allegedly saying that they only originally wanted 20 million for him, but then Woodward was saying, "Oh, we'll give you 30," and then they found out they said no, and then they found out that they could pull Woodward on a string and see how many they could get, and they took it as a joke to get 50 million. They were laughing at the end of it. So, no, he has not. Again, another victim of a player that's could do a job as a squad rotation player. But there's no system there to hide his deficiencies. It's just bullshit on bullshit, man. Poor signing by Jose Mourinho. Just he's not really justified shit for me, bro. With respect, he's not.
And this is the problem again. I look at our coaching staff and I say, if you look at Man City's midfield, who are they? Gundogan. Who else is in there? We got
Gundogan, Rodri,
David Silva.
Is Fernandinho still there?
Yeah,
Fernandinho's still there. He probably walked into our midfield, to be fair.
We got Silva in there, the other one, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's not fast, bruv.
I know.
No is Rodri. No is that Gundogan guy. But they're all techie. They're all technical players. This is what I'm trying to say.
Techie players, bro.
They are, but that's why. So when I hear, but those three will play in midfield. So when I hear Pogba, Bruno, and Donny can't play in midfield, that's when I just throw my thing. I just throw the laptop on the floor and say, "It's done."
I know.
It's long then.
It's long. Trying to say we need to play the right way.
All you need to tell me is they can't do it because of our managers. That's better. Yeah, but don't tell me they can't play in midfield because there's a man just up the road at City doing it, bruv.
Yep, there you go.
Week in, week out. No one's fast. They're just techie players playing to a system.
Yeah.
Rodri, Silva, and I'm upset. I'm upset.
Daniel James, I don't want to talk about that. We got good value for him after the signing, but again, recommended by Ryan Giggs. Why we have recommendations from club legends, you know what I mean, who are not in the best of places right now. Aaron Bissaka, 49.5 million. I repeat, 49.5 million. Musa still rates him because he's from Southampton.
Man. I rate him when he was at a certain where we got him at 20 what? 20 years old?
21, 21, I think it was. It's
21. He was doing, for me, Aaron Bissaka came to us as a 20-year-old doing what he was meant to be doing, defending.
Yeah.
But we were told that at Man United, we would take his game up to another level and we would make him one of the best in the world. Did we do that? That's it. No. That's what I can say. He hasn't developed. Again, they're not. So if we was getting a player so what you're telling me, we're buying a complete 20-year-old. He's meant to come to us complete at 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he's complete.
No, but again, it comes out. That's why they say this is down to the recruitment team just not seeing what it needs to be for a complete fullback. Again, that's on the club. That's on the club.
28. He's not 28, and he's been around, and he should know what he knows his game. And now we've got a 20-year-old who's just come from Crystal Palace, and we bought him for 50 million, who no one can't get past.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. Neji, Harry Maguire, 78 million rising to 85.
Why'd you have to give me that guy, man?
You know what I mean?
Listen, Margaret's got his place, man. It's just not Man United. Margaret needs to go to Newcastle, man. That's it.
Yeah, that's
the far. Worst captain Manchester. Say again.
What's mad? Newcastle won't even take him off us, you know.
No, they won't. They won't.
No, they would, man. They would. You know why? Because two normally like them slabhead drink heads, man. They love it, man. Trust me. They love one of them. They love them ones, and all that, man. Yeah, that's their culture, man. Harry Maguire would fit in perfect.
Probably the best one.
Where's he from originally? Is he from them ways up there? Them ways, Maguire. Where's he from originally?
What do you mean?
Like in England, is he from Newcastle?
Sheffield.
Okay, it's from Sheffield.
Probably the best signing of the last 10 years, probably Bruno Fernandes so far. Good value for money. Okay, it's not your bread and butter, but he's been high volume. For what you've got out of him, he has been high volume player.
Yeah, in this time and day and age, he's good value for money. He goes Barcelona, it's all mad.
Yeah, exactly. Donny van der Beek, 35 million we paid for him. 35
again
million.
For what he was doing and where he was in his career, it was a good steal, man. It was a good steal. I thought Man United
that was the first signing I looked at and went, sorry, mister. It's lagging a bit, so I keep over talking. Apologies, man. Tell me to shut up, man.
Go on, I'm with you.
Now go for it, bro. Finish.
That was the same thing you were saying. I was on the same things. The first time I looked at it and I thought to myself, we've bought Bruno for just around 40 million, under 40. We've gone and got another midfielder in for about between 35 and 40 again. I was like, okay, United are just, and we wasn't getting bullied with the Sancho thing, paying mad hundreds of millions. So I was thinking, United have actually started to sort out their payments and now they're going to be buying
one of the not Hayden, not the best, but one of, like, I wouldn't say it's a whole success, but one that has made every fan kind of think, or most fans think, you know what, it's good value for money what we've got out of him. You know what I mean? It's not been a complete flop. He's been good. We've had good value for money, and we can't really look at his signings so far and be like, yeah, Bruno's been a flop. He's started on fire. He's had a few difficulties recently in terms of now where we have to play football now. He's had a few difficulties, but on the whole, I would say, it's been a success so far. You know what I mean? Whether that continues remains to be seen. But, is it down to him that we don't win anything? I think Samson said, I disagree what we have won with him. I think that's a bigger picture, though. Paul Pogba and certain man, have only been they've been here for 5-6 years, and we've only won 2 trophies, if that. So it's just crazy how much we've won certain things, in general. You know what I mean? United just at the minute just not there, man, not there. Facundo Palestri, we bought it for 7.5 million. Not seeing him. He's on loan. This one here, 18 million for Diallo, rising to 40. Obviously, rising to 40 million. But crazy, isn't it? Diallo.
It's madness.
Not seeing anything of Diallo. Why is there long stories of Diallo? He always plays well in training. He seems to be on the favorite team, but he seems to be in the. I just don't know what's wrong with this Fiala. I don't know.
Wasn't he meant to be going on loan to Birmingham or something in Championship?
The United blocked it.
Rumor.
United blocked to move. Yeah.
He was meant to be going on loan at least this time of the year as well in the January transfer.
Yeah.
Nothing's been said. I haven't heard nothing about him.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm hoping we get a manager who goes youth. I'm ready to play. If I could play proper football, with systems, with the youth players, I'm happy with a couple senior players like with Varane, but with Bruno here and there, but with young players ready to run for these guys, ready to put in the shift and support the big guys and are ready to turn up. I'm ready for us to go down that way, man, and compete. Just compete. Put on good games, put on a good show. At the end of the day, it's an entertainment business, man. We're not being entertained, bro. When you go to the stadiums and you actually sit down and watch the game, like everything aside, we're there to be entertained. But people are paying their hard-earned money after a long week to come and watch a game of entertaining football, and you're just sitting there thinking, "What's going on here, bro?"
Exactly. But we have wrapped up the show.
What do you guys think about?
Go on.
Oh, sorry, we might end the show. Just about quickly to say, what do you think about the idea? Just leave it as a cliffhanger. But do you think it's weird how most of our techie players are either going on loan or getting out of the club and they're not being played, and you want entertaining football? And most techie players,
That's the cliffhanger. You know what I mean? It is going to be kicker run football at United, but we'll see. But big up to everybody who's watched the show. It's flown by. The 1 hour has flown by. Big up to everybody who's come here. We'll try and make this a regular show for you guys if you've liked the video. Big up to Roko, always supporting the channel. Get the likes up. But yeah, big up to you, ladies. You let them know where they can find you, man. Socials, obviously, you got your YouTube channel now and that whatnot. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, big ups, people. Listen, man, first and foremost, thank you once again, Saeed, man. It's always blessed. Musa, nice to meet you as well for the first time. People in the comments, big up yourself. I saw your nice words and kind words come through, so big up yourself. But for those who don't know me, if you want to find me on Twitter, @Sunshine47.
just released new content for YouTube, which is a football gaming show where you guys can win free prizes. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to that. I think we're on 142 at the moment. So if 80 you guys will get us to 150, I'd appreciate that, man. At Sunshine47, just put a space between Sunshine and 47 on YouTube. Yeah, man, check out the latest qualifying rounds. They've been sick. I think we've got the final on Sunday, you know. I think the final's on Sunday.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, make sure you head over to his channel. Yeah, man, big up to you for coming on, AG. Musa, let them know what you're doing lately.
Man. We're still same old. We're at Resource CIC. Hopefully, we'll be in Birmingham next week doing some outreaches with the homeless down there, distributing our footwear as we do. And yeah, man, we're just busy, man. We've just been down at the hub, getting in some donations this week. Had a couple people pass through this week from the community supporting as usual. So yeah, we're good.
Absolutely. Make sure you go check that out, people. And big up to everybody who's watching. Tomorrow, the Mank Talk will be back. Me and Steve will be filming that. So make sure you check out for the Mank Talk tomorrow with Big Steve. Big up, man. Everybody subscribe. Everybody subscribe. But yeah, man, like the video, subscribe to the channels, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Mank Talk. Take care. Bye-bye.